Okay, so like I said, I'm back. Now, I had released the video of Dad's album releases through the years, and I was trying to come up with an idea for a film or video or whatever of something that I have or know that you don't, or something along those lines, something of value. There's millions of people out there who are creating the same stuff, and it's basically you want to listen to this guy, so you watch this guy say the same information. It's either news, reviews of films, stuff like this, tutorials, all kinds of stuff on this site. Well, I wanted to create something, and the main thing it's been gearing towards or pigeonholing me into is my perspective, how I see things. So I have to make this. I have to. I feel it's extremely important for me to make this video. I'm going to try and be as concise as I can with this and not take up too much time. I know that people are busy, blah, 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 wah, 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 all your shit, right? Well, if you're interested enough, stick around because it's well worth it. Announcement at the end, and yeah. So, start at the beginning, right? So, a few weeks ago, back in January, the end of January, I wasn't feeling very good. I was quite sick. Was sitting at work here, bored, and skimming through YouTube, looking for information about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which will be the second part of the remake that they're putting out at the end of this year. Got very enthusiastic and very pumped about this. Also, Final Fantasy XVI is finally coming out. You have the Pixel Remasters, or Pixel Remaster, whatever you call it. You have the first 6 Final Fantasy games going to be available on the PS4 and on the Switch, which is amazing, because of course I'm going to buy them all, because I already own the rest of them on there. So, anyways, I thought to myself, I was skimming through them all, just like building on hype, basically, and going through this stuff, looking for something to watch. I see this video off to the side, and it says, Final Fantasy VII as a dark 80s fantasy film. I'm like, what? It's kind of like a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared moment, like a Roy. Kind of like they pan over to that all of a sudden, right, creepy and completely offbeat. I was like, what? So, of course, I click it. And it's a bunch of stills. And it's stills as if they were pictures taken from a film filmed in the 80s of Final Fantasy VII. And I'm like, this is fucking neat. I liked it quite a bit. So I sent it around to everybody, and of course nobody said anything, so I was like, okay, yeah, it's just me being over-obsessed with Final Fantasy, as per usual. So I just figured it was nothing, not a big deal. So a week goes by, and humming and hawing or whatever, and I find a Chrono Trigger one, and I'm like, oh my god, and I fucking cried. When I seen the Chrono Trigger one, I fucking cried. I was like, this is amazing. And it was Chrono Trigger as if it was real, or as a film, and I'm like, oh my god. And anyways, it was like, with that one, I started jumping into the rabbit hole. So I started subscribing to these channels that produce these videos, however the hell they're producing these stills or whatever. And I'm like, this is fucking neat. Then I found Banned from Earth, a channel known as Banned from Earth. Links in the description to all this stuff. He had a video called Clive Barker's Ghostbusters. And I love that more than Final Fantasy X. That concept blew my fucking mind. I want it retconned into my childhood that was the Ghostbusters film, not what we got. Don't get me wrong, I love Rick Moranis. I love that movie. I love the whole concept, everything. The Goes are the key to everything. It was amazing. But where the hell's that one? Because it's better. It's way better. And Pennywise would not be scary to anyone at any point if that was the Ghostbusters movie we got. It blew my fucking mind. As soon as I was done watching it, I gushed and gushed in the comment section of that video. And I knew that I had to figure this out. It's like 3 videos now that have generated images of things that don't exist. I want this. And they're like photo real. I want to know how to do this. I want to know what the hell they're doing. What is this? So of course I talked to my friend, quite computer savvy, and he starts telling me that it's AI art. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I start digging, and I play around with the cheap ones a little bit, but they're not really doing it for me. So I figure out that the main one, the big one, is called Midjourney. So Midjourney is a Discord server, or I'm not computer savvy, so don't quote me on this. I know a bunch in comparison to some, but I'm not a wizard with computers, so I don't know that stuff. So anyways, all I know is I have a Discord account, thanks to my friend Brett, who wanted me to be on Discord ages ago, which I could never see the point. I never understood what it was for. Well, now Discord has a purpose, because it has this thing called Midjourney. You don't have to pay anything if you don't want. You can go in there and you can use it for free, and basically anything you create comes up, or generate, sorry, comes up on, like, in a public forum kind of idea, like Facebook, like a news feed. But if you want to, you can pay for it, and you only get 25 a month. I don't know, 25 in total or something like that, or 25 a month for $10 a month. And it's like, so I went in there and I started using it. Didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea how to work this thing whatsoever. And I just looked at a couple of videos, looked around basically to get the bare bones of it, to see what it was, because I want to play with this. So I looked through their plans, their money plans, and for $30 US a month, you can generate unlimited options. So that's like 42 bucks. Well, I'm not big on paying streaming services. I mean, I pay for Amazon because it gives you sometimes, because it gives you the shipping. When I need the shipping, I pay for it. And it gives you the streaming service. Spotify gives you recommendations for music that you might like, and it actually works. So Spotify was worth it. Disney, unless you're a huge Star Wars and Marvel nerd, or you just want to watch old TV shows from Fox and stuff and that kind of thing, it's not really worth it. Crave, for the quality of what you get in shows and stuff, like if you're top tier, you're looking for your next Game of Thrones, it's worth it. Otherwise, no. Unless you're some kind of weird super DC fan who loves the DC movies, which I can't understand why anybody would, because they're a hodgepodge fucking mess. I'm a DC nut, and they're just garbage. I like some of them. I mean, I wanted Peacemaker, so I mean, but I instantly paid for Midjourney. Instantly. After creating about 2 images, I instantly paid the $40 so I could make as much as I want. I've been playing around with it for 3 days now. 3 days. That's it. I haven't known of this thing other than 3 days. And I've already generated about roughly 3,000 to 4,000 images. Now, there is an ethical thing going on where people are claiming it's their art, and people are claiming this kind of thing. Well, I would say that if you are creating someone else's art within that, or generating someone else's art, you're not using your imagination enough, and you didn't use your imagination enough to upload on here. Anything that I ever show anyone, I always feel is tainted. It's cheapened by the fact that you've seen it. Somebody's seen it. So it's not as good of an idea anymore. It's not as fresh. So I've uploaded tons of stuff for free. Tons. Go to the Internet Archive. There's all kinds of stuff. Musically more so than anything, but that's because I don't believe my music's worth money. I just believe it's a neat thing for people to check out. Hence why I created this channel in the first place. To me, it's the concept of you. It's you are using this thing similar to any of your art toolboxes. Painting, sculpting, drawing, photoshopping, AI. It's your new one. I see it as a new form of art that you can create. People are pissy because it's kind of doing the whole thing where it's taking from others. Now, I wanted to test this to know, and right now it is limited. It is limited to what exists on the internet and what you can describe to it. So I asked it what a fucking Kapoink was. Now, what's a Kapoink? I have no idea. I have a character on here that I claim was my Uncle Kapoink in one of those videos. It's one of those stupid words. I have all these stupid words I came up with when I was a kid. Ticks Mctivy. Right? All these things that I just made up. Looking at a fucking keyboard and coming up with words. So, I mean, no one really knows what the hell this thing is. So it has nothing to draw from. So I asked it, I said, what's a Kapoink? And it amazed me what it came up with. It had this fixation on robot birds, or robotic birds, steampunk-esque kind of thing for a little bit. It also had these weird creatures, these weird fish creature type things. And yeah, it had all kinds of ideas of what it was. So I told it was wrong. I said, it's a good attempt. I know you can't really talk to the damn thing, but I'm me, right? So I put in there that I gave it the image that I thought was a good example, because it seemed like it came from its head, because I wasn't giving it any direction. And I said, this is good, but make it better. And it did. The idea is that this thing is imagining what you say and what you speak to it, and it's giving you something back. Banned from Earth got it to visualize a Clive Barker Ghostbusters film. I typed in Clive Barker's Ghostbusters. I got some images that were a little messed up. Not the same, but so it's basically up to how you describe to this thing what it creates. Now my thing with it was to draw and feed it. I wanted to have more ideas, more fucking concepts, more things to play with, more terrains, everything. So create things, put them in there, and see what it does with that. For instance, we're getting close to the end here. For instance, Reefer Man. I gave it a picture of Reefer Man, and I said, turn it real. Turn it into a puppet. Like, I'm going to be uploading a lot of the images that I've generated through this. They're all copyright free, according to the site. A lot of people are getting pissy about this. No one's going to buy a dollar store knockoff version of your thing unless they're just flat out ripping you off. Now with me, I'm generating things that don't exist, but they're using the visuals of other things to try and mold these together. You'll see in the future. Anyways, one thing I thought was a really neat idea, which I'm going to start doing, is I'm going to be uploading stills, same as these guys did, and I'm going to be narrating stories to them. They're going to be short, they're going to be ridiculous, but I figure it's a cool way to show you some of this. Also, I'm going to do a video that's like a compilation of some messed up stuff, because I played around with Dad and this kind of idea. But anyways, I can't start a fucking video tonight without somebody walking in while I'm doing it. Like I said in the announcement, I will be uploading different short videos. They'll only be like 2 or 3 minutes to 5 minutes. And there'll be stills that are created with this. And if you see in it and you're like, hey, wait a minute, that reminds me of this movie, comment and tell me, because I'm trying to make this thing better. I'm not trying to sit back and argue with a pencil, because that's what you're doing. You're arguing with a tool. It's a tool for artists. It's not going to replace artists. It's a new thing to put in your toolbox. Just like Photoshop, sculpting, painting, everything. It's a new thing, a new color to play with. Why does this not excite you, right? To me, it's fucking fascinating. I played around with my dad. I took the idea of my dad and I turned him into an 80s breakfast cereal. Now those images kind of harkened a little bit towards Beetlejuice. Just a little bit. But not enough that anybody else except for a couple of people caught it. And for me, it's like, okay, so this is what you're getting wrong. It's like, okay then. So you're drawing from that. Like drawing as in like pulling. I mean, double meaning, I guess. But I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work. But I'm going to try, and as a nod to Banned from Earth, I'm going to make my own short film that's just stills of a live-action raccoons movie. Now, The Raccoons, if you're not familiar with it, it's a cartoon from the 80s that wasn't released outside of Canada, I guess, or not very many places outside of Canada. The States never got it until now. A Reason Known Crave. They have the whole series on there. It's the only thing I have attached to my list. But yeah, the I've already got most of it. I could already upload one. I'd love to see this evolve. I'd love to see this get better. So I'm going to try and help it get better. The more I understand of what it doesn't know, the more I understand what to feed it. And then, of course, in turn, Midjourney, the people who run it, they have co-ownership of anything I generate through there. Well, I've been taking my acid Rorschachs and putting them in there and seeing what it does with them. And I mean, like, to give you a small tidbit before I close this, because I'm definitely going to stop this now. The whole Kapoink thing, on top of that, I'm asking it to make specific things, and I'm being very specific about things, and it still can't catch it. It can't do words. It can't come up with words. I put words in there. I've tried very hard. It can do a specific letter, but words, it's having a real hard time. But yeah, in the coming weeks or days or whatever, I'll upload a compilation of stuff, or I'll upload one of these silly stories or something. I'm also going to be creating a fan site where I'm going to hide it behind a paywall that'll be about $5 a month or something, and you will be able to see comics that I've created with this and other things I've created with this. The only reason I'm putting it behind a paywall is because it's $42 a month for me to use this. So I got to create some kind of means of paying for this. Because the only way I can private it, where I'm the only one who owns my stuff and people can't see it, is to pay $60 American a month. I'm going to try and get to there. I will be producing prints and everything of the things that I can create through there. But I guarantee you the things I create from there aren't yours. And also in all those comics, I'm credited as the writer, not the artist. Midjourney is credited as the artist, the AI. I'm fascinated. I think it's the coolest fucking thing ever created. I never thought past Photoshop there would ever be any new art tools. But that's what this is. Your imagination in a box. It's the what if machine from Futurama. That's exactly what it is. It's crawling right now. It's an infant. It's just learning to walk. By 2025, I think I might be able to generate my own film. Maybe. I'm hopeful. And if so, the Rollick system is not that far away from being released. Because of course I can feed my ideas into it. It gives me something back. And rinse and repeat till I get what I need. Anyways, I love you. Take care. Or love yous. Take care. Don't cause shit or whatever. And we'll see you again soon.